The office holiday party was alive, buzzing with conversation, clinking glasses, and music that seemed to vibrate through the walls. I had spent hours preparing, telling myself it would be a casual night, a chance to reconnect, to share a smile, maybe even laugh with the woman I had loved for years. But the moment I stepped inside, that illusion shattered. She was at the center of the crowd, radiant under the warm lights, talking effortlessly, laughing freely, leaning close to a coworker, the very man I had seen too many times on her phone. The scene hit me like a punch to the chest. She didn't look at me. Not once. She didn't even acknowledge my presence. And in that instant, the truth struck hard. She was deliberately choosing him over me here, in front of everyone. I walked toward her slowly, forcing my exterior to remain calm, even as fire surged inside me. "Hey!" I said softly, barely above a whisper, hoping to catch her attention without drawing a scene. She didn't turn. Instead, she leaned toward him, laughing at something he said, her hand brushing his arm casually, showing off her delight. Then, without warning, she delivered the words that pierced me like a knife. If I had a choice, I'd choose someone else. The laughter around her erupted, but I didn't hear it. All I felt was the cold truth that the woman I had trusted, the woman I loved, was publicly mocking me. And she didn't even care. I stood there, letting it sink in. My pulse raced, jaw tight, but I didn't shout. I didn't grab her. I didn't make a scene. My silence was deliberate. The quiet power of someone refusing to be manipulated by words or laughter. Every glance around the room mirrored her audacity. Coworkers' eyes widened. They had thought it a harmless joke. Slowly, I gave her the look, a gaze heavy with years of love, betrayal, and quiet fury. The kind of look that stops someone mid-laugh, mid-word, mid-heartbeat. The room began to shift. The laughter faltered, uncertain, as my presence settled like gravity. She noticed, her confident smirk flickering for the first time, replaced by a flash of doubt. She had expected predictability, either my laughter or my anger, but this was neither. This was calm, calculated, silent power. I wasn't here to yell or fight. I was here to make her face the consequences of her words, her actions, and her disregard for what we had shared. She tried to recover, tossing her hair, forcing another laugh, tried to reclaim the moment, but the effect was gone. The coworkers who'd been entertained now shifted uneasily, exchanging glances, unsure how to react. The room felt thick with tension. I stepped closer, deliberate, radiating a quiet authority she had never encountered. Her hands trembled slightly, realizing that the playful dominance she once wielded over me in public no longer existed. Her joke had crossed a line, and I was the line she could no longer ignore. "My dear," I said softly, just loud enough for those nearby to hear, "so this is how you see our life, our love, as a joke." Every word was measured, yet it carried months of hurt, betrayal, and neglect. Her face drained of color. The confident, radiant woman everyone had watched moments ago now looked small, exposed, powerless. She opened her mouth, perhaps to laugh again, but the room had gone silent. Every pair of eyes focused on her. The way of her actions pressed down, more terrifying than any angry outburst ever could. The coworker beside her, who had been smiling and enjoying the attention, now stepped back, unsure what had just occurred. She gripped her drink tightly, knuckles white, realizing that the power she thought she had evaporated in an instant. Her eyes darted to me, searching for an explanation, an apology, a wink that could erase the tension. But I offered nothing. My calmness was deliberate, surgical, showing her exactly what she had lost: control, respect, and the devotion of someone who had once been entirely hers. She whispered something barely audible. I was joking. Empty words. Meaningless. The silence I had created spoke louder than any defense. I shook my head slowly, holding her gaze, letting the truth settle in. This wasn't a joke. This was her choice, her exposure, her moment of reckoning. The room watched, frozen, as she finally understood that some lines once crossed can never be uncrossed. Her laughter had turned to shame, her confident energy replaced by trembling vulnerability she could neither hide nor reclaim. No further words were necessary. The party lights continued to shine, but the atmosphere had changed. She sat down, head in hands, shadows stretching across her face. Her coworkers avoided her gaze, unsure how to respond. I turned and walked away, not to dramatize, not to make a scene, but to leave with the quiet dignity of truth. She had crossed the line. Nothing could bring it back. By the time I disappeared from view, she was alone, trembling, realizing too late what she had lost. The fleeting laughter, attention, and admiration she had sought could never replace the respect, love, and presence of someone once fully devoted to her. For the first time, she understood the cost of crossing boundaries she should never have tested. That night, the party lights shone on her face, but they revealed a truth she could no longer ignore. Some lines, once crossed, leave permanent marks no words can erase.